Well, good afternoon. Money, like music and film, is going digital. And just as the way we consume music and film is changing, so the ways we are interacting with our financial services providers, managing and moving our money is changing. We're in the midst of a revolution. My task today is to explain to you how PayPal is changing its strategy to a bold new vision in this fast-changing world. This being Money20 Europe, I'll talk particularly about the European business for which I'm responsible. Now, I've just heard about a fascinating new technology of blockchain, which is very promising, and I really enjoyed that presentation. And it's very clear, I think, to all of us that we're in, after millions of years on the face of this earth, in the midst of a revolution. And technology is enabling that revolution, but what we're increasingly seeing is the consumer is driving that revolution. The consumer is at the heart of this, and most of the rest of us in this room and elsewhere are engaged in keeping up with the consumer and supporting them and where they want to go. Many things are driving that revolution, and I've just highlighted 4 here on this slide. The first thing is the internet. It's difficult for us to overstate the importance of the internet and the growth of that. Around, according to some statistics, 40% of the world's population are now connected to the internet. And although people, what they do with the internet, how they use it, the device on which they access it varies, it's a pervasive and growing influence on the way we run and manage and carry out our daily lives. Mobile, clearly, this is a mobile increasing world. And it's changing the way, again, we go about things every day. The way I can see many of you already on your mobiles even at this moment. Now, I was running Visa Asia Pacific from 2000 to 2008, and in that period we had about 42 mobile payment experiments. These are nothing new. Most of those we knew would never take off. In fact, some of them were only used by the people who developed the services, actually. But in 2007, June the 29th, things changed with the iPhone came out. And with that, the whole infrastructure of apps. A number of companies, including ours in 2009, opened up our services through APIs. And that, combined with many other things, led to an explosion in creativity through apps. People suddenly were able to put in through APIs new capabilities to build powerful new experiences delivered on a mobile, supported by a burgeoning 2G, 3G, 4G mobile network. So the mobile is at the core of this. Running alongside, we've seen massive social change. I don't just mean growing, rising economies, social change in that sense. I'm talking particularly about social media. Just think of how all this has enabled the growth of social media. You know, we're very proud in PayPal of our 179 million active customers. PayPal, at the end of last year, had almost 1.6 billion monthly active users. Never before in the history of the world have companies like Facebook, Twitter, been able to develop active customers and loyal customers and addicted customers before into this scale. And people are increasingly wanting and using those social media. They're wanting to move from sharing photos and experiences and news to transacting through that. And of course, regulation. Here in Europe, many people in the financial service industry groan when they think of regulation. I actually think in Europe we're really blessed with regulation in many areas. Just think of what's happened with the growth of the internet, the e-money directive that we still benefit from today in our business in Europe, the 4 anti-money laundering directives, the good that they've brought, PSD, the Payment Service Directive, and the Payment Service Directives 2 that we spoke about on a panel yesterday. And now the EU Commission Retail Green Paper on financial services. We think that opens up many opportunities for our business across Europe. We think it's a real tailwind behind our business. And a lot of the regulations that are coming in through PSD2 that will come from the Green Paper, we think will really support us as we grow our business. So where does PayPal fit into all this? Well, I joined Visa in 1999 in Foster City, and at the time we were trying to get the card pay product, which worked beautifully well in the physical world, to work well on internet. And basically, we were taking a product that worked with a mail order telephone service and adapting it for the internet. That's what we did. We introduced 3D Secure at the time as a way of getting better authentication. But truth be told, the four-party card product, which worked so beautifully in the physical world, struggled over the internet. Just as I was very proud to be joining Visa in February '99, down the road in Palo Alto, the founders of PayPal were building a better mousetrap. They built a mousetrap that enabled consumers to buy safely and securely online through what we now call a tokenized service, and enabled millions of merchants to accept payments online. Previously, in many countries, and still in this world today, companies struggle to get a merchant account to accept card payments, and the PayPal founders enabled that, and that's still a core part of our business. Just think about the original service we offered. We had a PayPal wallet funded in a few countries by banks, but predominantly by debit cards and credit cards, and people could use it to pay online. And that wonderful yellow button became, over many years, one of the most valuable properties on the internet. Now, that's still the core of our business. We spend a lot of time every day improving that experience, driving conversion, opening up new markets. A lot of people, some of the biggest names in omni-channel retailing, even now are adopting PayPal because we bring growth and we open up more than 200 world markets to them. So that original founding vision of PayPal is still very relevant and driving the core of our business, and we're very proud of it. We've introduced enhancements like One Touch to provide a one-touch payment experience for mobile to increase conversion over 140 markets very recently. It's the core of our business. But now, as an independent public company, under our new CEO, Dan Schulman, we're looking at a much more expansive consumer vision, and this is where the green paper in Europe for retail financial services come in, because we think what we're trying to do fits exactly with the EU Commission's view of life. You can see on the left-hand side there, in 2008 we bought Bill Me Later in the US to provide credit, instant credit at the moment of purchase, and now we've launched that in the UK, and we're doing so in Germany. But our vision is to provide a much broader range of functionality about that payment. So instead of being used a couple of times a month, we want to be used a couple of times a week and then a couple of times a day by offering cash, direct deposits, as well as credit, in some countries checks, and P2P payments. And then, of course, on the other side, to be used not just online, but also in the ATM, through international remittances, through bill payments, and of course, in-store. So we are seeking to reimagining in this fast-changing world where we're all changing the way we transact with financial services providers, a new vision. Now, of course, mobile remains at the center of it. Why? The reason PayPal worked so well online, being a closed loop where we have a relationship with every consumer and every merchant, just as that enabled a beautiful buying experience online, that translates beautifully to the mobile. And that's why conversion and why our mobile business is growing faster than any other part of our business, and why many people come to us for mobile and cross-border. We recently relaunched an app in 145 markets with localized content, and we're very proud of the app and the engineering behind that app, because it provides us with enormous flexibility to adapt that and adapt content to different local markets. If you're operating in more than 200 markets around the world, enabling transactions in more than 100 currencies, you need that flexibility. Zoom. Last year, we were proud to purchase Zoom, one of our first acquisitions as an independent company. That is a mobile-based money transfer service, at the moment from the US to a bank account or other financial services account internationally, and we're going to be bringing that to Europe. It's the next generation funds transfer service, and of course, it's mobile-based. We already have a burgeoning P2P business, very well placed for that, and this will add another arrow in our quiver in terms of international money transfer services. We're also very proud, as part of the PayPal family, to have Venmo. I don't know how many of you from the US and how many of you or your children use Venmo, but it's increasing the way millennials in the United States transact their business, their day-to-day lives. It builds many of the features of social, which young people are obviously very familiar with, into buying experiences. So they can use this to share checks, send messages as a live feed, and it's an enormously successful, fast-growing experience. And all of that DNA that we brought in when we brought Venmo, we're now bringing across to our other mobile experiences and targeting a very wide audience internationally. Now, you don't have to be in PayPal very long to realize that many of our 17,000 people around the world are not just in PayPal for the paycheck. You have to be in PayPal very long before you realize the good we do, enabling many people, many of them disadvantaged, open up businesses and get going using our payments, accepting card payments, accepting PayPal payments online. We're really proud of that, and that's a big motivating factor for many of our people. And the new vision on consumer that we've outlined is really exciting for us as a company. Our vision isn't just about the affluent in Europe, in the developed markets. Our vision is a global vision. Some of the fastest growth we are seeing is in the emerging markets. And we see both in developed markets and emerging markets the opportunity using our platform, our technology, our skills, and our abilities to bring a new level of financial services to people around the world. We're looking to reimagine various financial services for various markets and democratize money, as we would say, and bring financial health. So as well as helping businesses, we want to bring financial health to an increasing number of consumers. Now, I've talked about our consumer vision, which we're very excited about, taking all that we do traditionally in online payments and broadening that. Here in Europe, we are a bank. We operate as an e-money provider for our main service. And as we go forward, of course, we will adapt and do that. And that's one of the reasons why the regulatory change is so exciting for us. But we also have a new vision for the merchant. PayPal has always had in its DNA an understanding of the merchant community. We've always been, first and foremost, aligned with the merchant community because of our enablement of small businesses particularly, and increasingly large businesses. We took all the skills that we had with small businesses, dealing with people with eBay, post our acquisition by eBay, and about 10 years ago started to expand to large retailers. And now we're proud to include most of the large omni-channel and specialist online retailers in our portfolio of clients. One of the greatest things we've done recently is to purchase Braintree. Now, Braintree is a company, for those of you who may not know, who saw the opportunity through mobile faster than most. And they saw this burgeoning of creativity, this outpouring of creativity in app development, and the need for app developers, as they developed apps, who want to make them transactional and monetize them to build in payments. And they built a beautiful SDK to enable people to bring in, developers to build in payments automatically through a range of acquirers. And that's one of the reasons why today they power some of the biggest specialist people driven by mobile players like Uber and Airbnb, etc. That's one of the reasons why they've been so successful in that space. When we acquired them, all that DNA, as well as the Venmo DNA, came into our company. And in fact, the CEO of Braintree is now our head of global product and engineering. And a lot of our best thinking about this one-touch experience that we've enabled through 145 markets, has come through the Braintree thinking. Now, traditionally, we used to go to a large retailer and we would say, accept PayPal payments and we will guarantee you growth. We'll work well on mobile. Many retailers were finding an increasing number of people were shopping and browsing on a mobile, but conversion fell off. And with PayPal payments, the conversion significantly increased. So we'd go to them and they would put us on and they would start opening up the markets and they would get great increased conversion and increased growth. That's why people have paid a premium for our service in Europe. With Braintree coming, though, we've seen the opportunity to broaden that vision on the merchant side, so that today we offer a broader range of services, including we don't just want to accept the PayPal payments. In certain sectors, we want to be able to offer 100% share of processing, card processing. And Braintree and PayPal have always been used to working with people that some companies would say they're your competitors. For example, when Apple announced Apple Pay, and Tim Cook stood up with that wall of logos behind him, many of the people who were offering Apple Pay on that first wall of payments were powered by Braintree. And PayPal also works very positively with a number of channel partners, WorldPay, I saw their stand out there this morning, and others, to distribute our product. And in some areas we have competition, but in general we want a partnership. And Braintree is enabling us to offer a much broader range of services using our platform, and we think we're very well positioned for that. Now, we're not going to do this alone. In PayPal, one of the wonderful things about our company is that our eyes are bigger than our stomach. We see opportunity everywhere we go in this world we now live in, this exciting world, where there's more change in payments now and coming in the next few years than there has been in the last 50. We can't go it alone, though. Some areas we could go it alone, but it just makes more sense to partner. And of course, going back to our eBay days, and subsequently with our large merchant days, partnership has laid at the core of our values. So we, as I said, opened up our APIs to many partners in 2009. We partner through channel partners, and increasingly we're looking to partner with large companies with scale and strong franchises. And one of the ones I'm most excited about is our recently announced partnership with Vodafone. Aside from being a great brand, a great global name, one of the leaders in its field, it's the first time that the PayPal, a Visa product with all of their ubiquity, contactless payments, has been used to access the PayPal wallet as a funding source. It's the first time that's happened. So now if you're a Vodafone customer, you have a Vodafone wallet, you can fund that through PayPal and use it at the physical point of sale through any Visa contactless terminal in a beautiful experience. So it's another example of where working with Visa and our processing partner in Europe with Vodafone, a great example of something that's been enabled through partnership that we're very excited about. And I know that today I've had meetings with a number of you over the last few days, and my colleagues have. We look forward to partnering with you. So in summary, we're very proud of the 17 years or 18 years that PayPal has been around. We're proud of the record of growth. We're proud of the history of PayPal, the long years that we work very collaboratively with eBay, which remains a key partner for us and a core part of our business. And we're proud of the growth that we've enabled for many small businesses, many burgeoning mobile-based businesses, and how we've helped consumers around the world buy safely and securely with a minimum friction online. Now, of course, we're an independent company. We've gone back to our roots. We've had our second listing on the NASDAQ. That's a shot from our listing day recently. We see a very bright future. Hearing about blockchain is a reminder to me in PayPal now that there are better mousetraps that may be invented in time to come. So we're not complacent. But we think we have a tremendous set of assets, a tremendous set of capabilities, and we think that with the help and support and working with partners like yourselves, we have a very, very bright future. Here in Europe, particularly with the European Commission's regulation, the opening up of the market, the tailwinds that we feel from the point of view of opening up through the new green paper, that all that will lead to, PSD2, the new anti-money laundering directive, all this new regulation, we think we are in a perfect position. We operate throughout the 31 European states as a bank. So that opens up possibilities. So this new vision that's been outlined for consumer in Europe, here, globally, in Europe, we think we're beautifully placed for that. Already a MasterCard member. And again, as I've said, we have a growing relationship with Visa. So we look forward to a bright future working with you in what, let's face it, is the most exciting time in the world for all of us in commerce today. Thank you very much.